Welcome to day 3 of ZenTen with Jackie Rose, CZT of Zentangle. Rejuvenate with Zentangle. So we are working on our tile with 4 sections this week. And we are going to now do our pattern of the day in this section here. And this pattern is called Shattuck. Shattuck, another original Zentangle pattern. So take a nice deep breath in and out and really relax. And here's what we're going to do first. In this section probably is a lot different on yours than mine, but think about in the middle here, we're going to start to draw a line, and I'm using my pen, and we're drawing a line right down the middle, nice and relaxed and slow, right down the middle, and hit the end of that section. We're only working in this section here. Now let's give that an aura, a nice tight aura. So we're just tracing right next to it the same shape, very relaxed. Great. And now we're going to work on this first side here. And the first thing you're going to do is from this corner, let's give a nice arc shape and land on that first line that we drew. And now we're going to aura this line. It's a slightly arced shape. And we're just going to give it an aura and keep auraing it. So just drawing that same line to fill up this little section here. Nice and slow and relaxed. Breathing in and out. Letting everything go. All that matters is each stroke that we're drawing. And you see how I did a little oops here, right? And an oops means opportunity for other possibilities. And you'll see this, what we're going to do later, this is just going to go away. And even if it doesn't matter, it won't show up. So now for the next section, we just did the arc going this way from left to right. We're now going to do it from right to left, giving it this arc shape going that way now. So it's almost like a zigzag. And now we're going to aura, do the same exact thing we just here did, but now we're going to fill up this section with the aura. So I'm going to turn my sketchbook to get a more comfortable position. Always be in a comfortable position. This is a meditation, a relaxation art form. And I'm just auraing, doing that same stroke. Yours is going to look a lot different than mine. Everyone's going to draw this differently. That's what Zentangle is all about. We are free to tap into our own inner artist, our own creativity. You are always free to do that. And then when you do that, amazing things happen. So now I'm going to do the same exact thing. And so these are the 2 shapes. So the next one is going to be this one again, right? So now we'll go from left to right, we'll draw that arc and then do the same exact thing we did here. Just giving it an aura. Now, even though I say the same exact thing, there's never same exact ever. It's always going to look different, usually, at least in my case. So we're focusing on each stroke, nice and slow and relaxed, breathing in and out. And so you can see I'm going to go the other way, which is the same way as this one. every pattern that is out there has many different variations, and you can, and so there's never one way to do a pattern. And when we're done filling all of these auras in, or these curved lines, I'm going to show you a variation. And when you are finished with this side, and most likely you're not, if you're doing it as I tell you to, or suggest, if you're going nice and slow, you probably have not finished like I have, because I'm going a little bit too fast, I think. So I'm going to do the one, and I tend to go fast just because I want to show you so that you can see what, well, that's my excuse anyways, so you can see that what we're doing. So we're going to do the next section, and it doesn't really matter. I could start from this corner or that corner. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to follow what feels natural to me. I'm just going to draw that arc, and then give it an aura. Many auras. Nice and slow. Nice and relaxed. And then I'm going to turn I'm going to show you the same exact thing. So then I'm going to draw the arc from right to left, kind of going up a little bit, and then I will aura that. But I'm going to turn my sketchbook to get a nice comfortable angle. So if you have ever said, oh, I wish I could do more meditation, and maybe you've heard people say, oh, only 10 minutes of meditation a day, or 5 minutes is all you need. Well, if you've had trouble doing that, you're doing it now. And here I'm going to go up this way, because we are in Zentangle meditation. And I think I mentioned to you before, and many of you know, if you've taken my longer classes, meaning longer than 10 minutes, I do not talk this much. There's usually, I'll show you what to do, and I stop talking, and then you just put on your own soft music, or you sit quietly and you just tangle. And I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to stop talking now for about a minute, and let's just focus on each stroke, relax, in quiet. Now, another way to do this pattern is, if you want, instead of doing curved, you could do straight lines. So the way that I'm going to show you to kind of spice this up a little bit. Now remember, on the day 5, we'll be shading all of these patterns, which is going to transform them anyways. But what I'm going to show you today is a little darkening of that first line that we drew. I'm just going over it with my pen. Now remember, I told you I had that little oops. So I've decided, and I believe oops are not oops, they are meant to be. Because if I didn't have an oops, I would have had a very lighter line. But my artist intuit, my subconscious artist in me says, you know what? We're gonna make you do a little bit thicker line than you planned. And I'm gonna do that with each first arc that we drew. So I'm going over that with a nice Just going over that line to darken it. So there are some of you, a lot of you actually, who are watching these recordings who have taken a lot of classes with me, or you've done Zentangle before, and some of these patterns you've done many times. So what I try to do for those of you is to kind of give you a variation to make it a little bit more interesting. So if you're a beginner to Zentangle and you aren't used to it, you don't have, you just do what feels good to you. Now, what I'm showing is not difficult, but it is to make it a little bit more interesting for those who have done this pattern before. And it might inspire you to do even something different. And I'll show you what I mean. So some other things you could do with this pattern is you could give it embellishments where maybe pick one of these little rings randomly and put in some orbs. They're just little round shapes. We call them orbs so that you don't try to put in a perfect circle, if we were to call it circles, because there's no perfection in Zentangle. So that's an option there. Another embellishment is to give it to color, pick a ring and color in the edges and then leave a highlight in the middle. So that's just another way you can embellish. You can put in little stripes going the opposite direction of the rings. You can even color in some of those little stripes to make it like a checkerboard. And one of my favorite fillers is a hugging seas, where we're just doing these arc shapes, but we're hugging. So we kind of trace along the edge as if we're hugging the previous one that we just drew. So if you didn't finish this, I encourage you to keep drawing when the recording is over and keep following your own artiste intuition. And tomorrow we will finish it up with the final pattern of the week. And then the day after tomorrow, we will shade the whole thing. So have a wonderful day and enjoy.